The Basilica Cistern or Topkapi Palace? And how many different ways can Casey pronounce it?
Topkapi Palace.
In this video, we are going to show you around two amazing places in Old Istanbul, and then compare which one we like better. Spoiler alert, we love them both, but one did have a slight edge. By this time, we had been traveling in Turkey for just over a week, and we'd seen quite a lot, from the Grand Bazaar and Galata Tower in Istanbul to the fairy chimneys and underground cities of Cappadocia. On our second go-around in Istanbul, we signed up for the Istanbul E-Pass, which gives you advance entry in many of the top sites. For our first day of the E-Pass, we thought the Basilica Cistern and Topkapi Palace would make a wonderful introduction.
Feeling good. Just paid $140 for a carry-on size bag of laundry. Done in 2 hours, totally worth it. We're just about to pop into the Hagia Sophia on a tour and later on Topkapi Palace.
It turns out our tour of the Hagia Sophia was actually just an outside walking tour, so we got really familiar with the outside of the building. But we got to see this really cute dog along the way, so that was all right.
Are you a pretty girl? Yeah.
While walking around, we saw a bunch of vendors selling corn on the cob, so obviously I had to stop and give it a try.
What's the verdict on the corn?
It's dry, it's somehow chewy.
$1.
We're currently walking over to the Basilica Cistern.
This is the one we were most excited to see. I think it's very underground. It has maybe 120 columns or something like that.
We get to skip the line, which is the best part.
That's because we had something called the Istanbul E-Pass, which I recommend getting if you're planning on visiting the historical sites. So we made our way down into the Basilica Cistern. The first thing I noticed was how cool and damp it was here. It was a nice change from the 30-degree weather outside. The Basilica Cistern is the largest of several hundred cisterns located under Istanbul. It was constructed in the 6th century by Emperor Justinian of the Byzantine Empire.
They change the lights in here every 5 minutes or so, and it gives a very neat effect.
Not only did they have a shifting light show, but also amazing art installations placed throughout the Basilica Cistern. They were beside some of the ancient pieces, such as this upside-down Medusa head, which is used as a column base. Its origin is thought to be the late Roman era, and historians believe it was placed upside down to negate the power of the Gorgon's gaze. So we continued on our way through the Basilica Cistern, and having passed the nearly 336 columns that support the roof down here, we made our way back to the surface.
Off we go into Topkapi, the palace of the old sultan, and the place that I can never pronounce the name of properly.
Having first admired some of the architecture outside the palace gates, we then entered through the imperial gate and into the first courtyard. What we were first met by was the Church of Hagia Irene. This is actually the oldest church in all of Istanbul, and it dates back to the 4th century BC. Nowadays, the Hagia Irene is actually used as a concert hall for the Istanbul International Symphony every year. Next, it was time to continue on our way through the Gate of Salutation, also known as the Middle Gate, and into the second courtyard. From here, we explored much of the outside grounds of Topkapi Palace. We were shocked at just how large it was. It felt like you could spend days just walking the grounds and always seeing something new. Even now, the palace accomplished its goal of putting us in awe of the Ottoman sultans of old. And to top it all off, it was now time for us to see the true level of wealth that they had in the imperial treasury.
We're just on our way to the jewel room in Topkapi, which has apparently an 86-carat diamond, something like that. I didn't get proposed to with that.
So, we made our way into the imperial treasury, and we were immediately greeted by amazing historical pieces from all around the world that really showcased the reach of the Ottoman Empire. One of my favorite pieces was this armor of Sultan Mustafa III and his collection of swords. But then, we found what we had been looking for, the Spoonmaker's Diamond, 86 carats and surrounded by 49 more cut diamonds. As we made our way out of the imperial treasury, we wished we could have stayed at Topkapi Palace longer and explored more. While the Basilica Cistern was incredible and so nice and cool in the heat, the sheer scale of Topkapi Palace and all the different sights to be seen made it our favorite of the two. What we didn't know was that our next stop for the day would actually be our favorite place in all of Istanbul, and we'll show you all around that place in our next video.